I can't wait for them to add a ice catalyst person. I'm surprised that after 2 whole years I've been gone, that they still haven't done that. I was looking through each of the characters to see if maybe I missed it, and nope. It's always been a bunch of freaking bow people. Like, it seems like that's the only type of characters they ever make is bow people, and it's like, dude, we need to move on from the bows, man. There's other weapons in this world, but it'll be nice to see like different weapons, like katanas, I don't know, like nunchucks or some shit, or like actual daggers. You know, like there's a lot that could happen. I would like to see like a ninja type character that goes invisible with daggers. That would be sick. Like you can just just disappear for a second and then sneak up behind a mob and like assassinate them type shit. Like that would be cool as hell. But for the most part, I've noticed the trend, and I noticed that years ago when the game first came out, that every time they add a new character, it's always a copy paste of something else. So like, for example, you know, you have Amber and she's using a bow, and she, you know, you hold the attack to do the fire arrow, and then you got your abilities, whatever. But then you'll have another character that has a bow too, and it's basically the same shit, but it's just with a different element type. So you're holding and then you're shooting ice instead of fire, and then your abilities basically work the same as like somebody else, you know? So like, it's so copy paste all the time that I was like, dude, I'm not gonna roll for anything unless it's a catalyst person. So I started getting to the point where catalyst people are like the only ones worth a damn, to be honest. Like, that's the only ones I ever fuck with. So Klee is amazing. I don't think there's any other fire type like catalyst people. I would like to see like somebody that's similar to, what's her name, Ningguang, like throwing the earth, but instead with fire, like throwing fireballs and shit like that. I would like to see something like that instead of this, because Klee's problem is that she's like melee ranged. So her heavy attack is like right there in her face, and then also the just shooting the bombs, it's like very close range attacks. So just it doesn't really work too well when you're trying to like keep distance from a mob. So she's technically a melee class, even though, like, you know, she throws shit. And then Barbara is the one that I'm looking for fire. I would like to see her but with fire. So like you could throw the fireball like pretty decently far away, but her attacks are super weak because, you know, it's water. Like I wanted to try to actually make like a water build for her and see if maybe it would be better, but I don't know. Water in general just seems kind of weak, except for Child. I think Child is like the only one that seems super strong. Miko is pretty awesome, but she's kind of copy paste of Lisa, and that's why I replaced her. I replaced Lisa with her. But the major thing that I really like about Miko is that she puts these little totems down, and she can do that permanently. Like basically, you can go to her character and you can plop down a totem like this, and then you can do like 3 in a row, but your cooldowns are super fast. It's like literally like 2 seconds, and it'll charge back up again. So by the time, you know, any of these disappear, you can just like keep refreshing them and add more, you see? So you can keep this up permanently. And the biggest benefit to that is that you can do this and then swap to another character and synergize with the, you know, electricity and fire or ice or whatever the fuck you want, you know? So like it makes it super strong. And that's why her combo with Klee is just absolutely like destroys everything in sight. Like it's overpowered as fuck. And that's why I replaced Lisa with Miko. Because with Lisa, you don't really have your chance to like really benefit from it too much. So what I was doing when I was playing Lisa before is I would just do my light attacks like this until they get the lightning on their head, and then I'll change to Klee, and then I'll do some stuff with her, and then I'll go back to Lisa and do some more attacks. So it was a little bit too much work, whereas with Miko is like completely different. Like literally I just plop this down and then go to work with Klee the whole time until the totems disappear, and then I go back to her and refresh. So like it works really well. I'm excited to see what Miko's like in general, because I really want to what's it called, main her a little bit more. I want her to kind of like be my main DPS along with Klee, because most of the time I'm always playing as Klee. Klee is my main. Like she's always on the top of my list all the time. She's my maxed out character at the moment too. So like I'm definitely like, I don't think she's ever gonna be replaced with anybody unless they decided to make a real Fire Blast person. Like I would like to see a Fire Blast person, but I don't know. Who knows if they're ever gonna do that. But the main thing that's missing from my team right now is Ice Catalyst. So that's what I'm looking forward to in the future. So Qiqi is going to be replaced eventually with that character if they ever decide to do it. But Qiqi works really well because, you know, she got her heal over time. She's really tanky too. So you can sit there like tanking bosses and stuff all day and never take any damage. On top of like when the little sigil thing pops up like on their body or whatever, which I could show that now real quick. So let me go fight something. The only thing I don't like about her is her moaning. Listen, it's too much. Like she goes a little wild with the moaning and it's like, dude, you're a child. I don't want to hear you moan. Like, please. I don't want to hear it, man. I don't go down like that, man. I need adult women to you know, get excited about. But you see when the little sigil thing pops up on them, that's like an amazing heal. So what I do is I usually open with that because that stays on cooldown for a little bit, which I don't know what the cooldown is on it. Let me check. I think it's this one, glimpse into the thing. When Qiqi hits an opponent with her normal and charge attacks, she has a 50% chance to apply the thingamajiggy for 6 seconds. See, so 30-second cooldown. So I wish that the cooldown was lower. I wish there was a way to lower it. Maybe if you could level it up. I don't know, but she's level 70 at the moment and still don't have that ability, so I'm not sure. But it would be cool if that cooldown went down a bit. But it's really strong. So basically, I would usually just open up with that. I'll even, like, if I'm playing with my fiance, I'll tell her that I'm gonna put my heal on, so then she can get ready to attack the target that I'm attacking, so that she can get healed to full, and then I get healed to full. Like it's really freaking strong. Like it's so good. On top of that, you got this one, which is the, you know, the alt or whatever, where you put that sigil thing on everybody in the whole area. So that's like I usually use that for worst case scenario. We're getting fucked up and we really need some healing, emergency. That's like the emergency heal basically. It's just like Barbara's major alt. So it's like save that for like an important time. So it's really strong and it's worth it. And then her thing, of course, is the cryo thing that spins around and it freezes the targets in the area if they have water on them, which the cool thing about my build here is basically like if I put this on like this and then I also put Barbara's thing, it will put water effect on them. Obviously it's not going to do it now because it's raining outside, but like that's basically the concept. I'll put Barbara's thing on like that and then I'll put Qiqi's version and then forget it. Like all it does is just freeze the enemy over and over and over. So it's the best crowd control ever. So if you really needed to just sit there and tank with Qiqi, like it just makes it unbelievably good. Like it's so good. So yeah, that's why this is my dream team right here. Like these are the people that I spend the most time with because they're ultra strong. Like they're so goddamn good. You see, and then I just put the thing on them, like heal to full, whatever, GG. Like it's so good. Like, but the way I have my Qiqi is basically my tank, and then Barbara is just like backup heals to Qiqi because Qiqi alone can do really nice healing. And I basically before this, I was using Waterboy, which I like to call Waterboy. I forgot how to pronounce his name. It said it in the story one time, and I was like, "Oh, that's how you say his name." But I was calling him Xingqing for a long time, but that's not how his name is pronounced. But he's pretty good too, and he does a similar thing to Barbara, where his main ability puts like the swords around him. Well, he does like a water slash first, and then it's like the little swords around him that float around. So that comboed really well with Qiqi. But I found myself never using him because I don't like weapons. You know, like the biggest thing that I've noticed is that Catalyst characters are super strong over like actual weapons. Because when you're fighting an element type, like if you're fighting somebody that's electricity and then you're sitting there just with Klee the whole time, forget it. Like Klee will destroy the fuck out of that enemy. But like if you're using a sword, sometimes like it'll take forever for it to break their shield or to get through their defenses. So like it made it useless. So that's why I gave up on weapon characters like bows and all that shit. Because like what's the point, you know? Like I think probably the only ones that matter is actually bows, because they can charge their bow to turn into the element and then shoot the element. You know, so if they're shooting the element, at least they have a fighting chance. Versus this shit, like sitting there fucking swiping all day, like it sucks, man. Like it doesn't do any damage, like barely. And like it doesn't matter what kind of weapon type you get. You can get like the most rarest fucking amazing thing ever that does like 90% crit chance or whatever the fuck. Like I think the one I'm using right now is a crit multiplier thingy, and it's still not good enough. Like look how long it's taking for her to fucking just break a rock, and then watch Klee. That's Klee. You see? Like, see how like grossly overpowered she is? So that's why I use Klee like majority of the time, because like she's just amazing all around, you know. And then my second place is my Miko. So she's more support damage. So it's like Miko and Klee are my DPS, and then Qiqi and Barbara are just my support. And that's it. So yeah. Anyway, that's my dream team, and hopefully someday, like I said, they make a Catalyst Ice person, because Qiqi will get replaced with that one, and then I'll really have the dream team, you know, because I already have 2 healers on this group, so it's kind of unnecessary for me to have 2 healers, which is why I'm working on Barbara now and trying to level her up, because I had her at like level 40 for the longest, and poor thing, I wanted to start working on her and getting her buffed up. So she's level 69. Nice. So eventually I'm gonna get her up to max, get her up to 90 and stuff whenever I do ascend, and yeah, do all that.